Good evening, everyone. Today's topic is neurocysticercosis. There are different stages. So, the first stage is the vesicular stage. In vesicular stage, there is cyst with dot sign that is clearly represented as cyst with scolex. Scolex you can see here, eccentric scolex is seen. And in vesicular stage, there is a viable parasite with the intact membrane, so there won't be any host reaction. So in vesicular stage, you will see this cyst with dot sign. There is no edema, no enhancement because there is no host reaction. The second stage is colloidal vesicular stage. In colloidal vesicular stage, the larva begins to degenerate. So the cyst fluid becomes thick and turbid, and the membrane becomes leaky. So you can see edema around the cyst. So you can see edema surrounding the cyst. So on imaging, you will find intense edema and intense enhancement. That is because of the intense inflammatory response as the membrane becomes leaky, so the fluid comes out, and that leads to the development of the edema. And it is the most symptomatic stage. And it is the most symptomatic stage. So the third stage is the granular nodular stage. In granular nodular stage, the edema decreases as the cyst retracts further, but the enhancement persists but is less marked as compared to the colloidal vesicular stage. So in the granular nodular stage, you can easily compare with the colloidal vesicular stage. So the edema is less. Edema is less. And but the enhancement you can see is persisting. So basically there is a retraction of the cyst wall. There is a retraction of the cyst wall, and eventually it is becoming a small enhancing nodule, as you can see in the diagram. As you can see in the diagram, it is becoming a small enhancing nodule. The last is the nodular calcified stage. In this stage, this is the basically the quiescent stage. This is the quiescent stage, and there is no edema, only calcifications you can see. There are multiple fibrocalcified nodules. As you can see, there are multiple fibrocalcified nodules. This is basically a healed stage. This is basically a healed stage. Granular nodular is basically a healing stage. Granular nodular is basically a healing stage. You can see in the vesicular stage, you can see a viable larva. You can see a viable larva. And in colloidal vesicular stage, you will see a dying larva. You will see a dying larva. Ultimately, there is a intense edema and inflammation. Okay. You can remember this by a mnemonic. Vegans, vegans can't get neurocysticercosis. Vegans can't get neurocysticercosis. Means the first is the vesicular stage, no edema, no enhancement, only cyst with dot sign, that is eccentric scolex. You can see the cyst with eccentric scolex, that is the vesicular stage. In colloidal vesicular, there is dying larva, the membrane is leaky, and there is development of the edema and the enhancement you can see. In the third stage, that is the granular nodular stage. In this stage, basically what is happening? Cyst is retracting, eventually becoming a small enhancing nodule. So edema is persisting but is less marked as compared to the colloidal vesicular stage. And last is the nodular calcified stage. That is the end stage quiescent calcified nodules you can see. There is no edema, no enhancement. In Racemose NCC, you can see multilobulated, variable sized, grape-like lesions. So as you can see in the diagram, variable grape-like lesions, and as you can see, ventricles are very much prominent, and obstructive hydrocephalus is very common in Racemose NCC. There is one more terminology that is known as intraventricular NCC. In intraventricular NCC, fourth ventricle is the most common site, followed by third, followed by lateral ventricle. Thank you.